Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We would like to acknowledge our visitors, guests coming from the national government and from the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. We would like to acknowledge Secretary Eduardo M. Anyo. Good afternoon, sir. Secretary Delphine Lorenzana, Undersecretary David Diciano, Undersecretary Marjorie N. Haloshos, PNP Chief Debold M. Sinas. From the DILG Regional Office 12, we would like to acknowledge Regional Director Josephine Cabrido Leisa, Assistant Regional Director Lailene Ortiz, Chief Administrative Officer Dennis Sukol, Supervising Administrative Officer Mary Ann Traspe, Chief of Staff Attorney Michelle Ann Viejo, Provincial Director Ali Abdullah, CLGO Sara Alamada, and including the Planning Officer, Public Relations, Finance Officer from the DILG Regional Office 12. We also would like to acknowledge Governor Nancy Catamco and Mayor Jean Dino Roquero. From the Bangsamoro government, we would like to acknowledge the Chief Minister Ahod Alhaj Murad Balawag Ibrahim, Executive Secretary Abdul Rauf Makakua, Speaker Ali Pangalian Balindong, Deputy Minister Abdul Sarin, Deputy Minister Ali Sulaiman, Minister Muhaker Iqbal, Minister Eduardo Guerra, Minister Romeo Queisema, Minister Mohammad Yaqub, Minister Melanio Olama, Minister Hamid Aminuddin Bara, Minister Hussein P. Munoz, Minister Amirel Usman, Minister Aida Silongan, Minister Raisa the Jury, Minister Dixon Hermoso, Minister Abu Amri Tadik. We have our Grand Mufti Abu Huraira Udasan, MP Datu Mipantao Midtimbang, MP Datu Tukaw Mastura, Governor Bay Mariam Sangki Mangudadato, Governor Suharto Teng Mangudadato, Board Member Muhammad Kelly Antao, Sheikh Khalifa Usman Nando, Mayor Shamim Mastura, and we would also like to acknowledge the ministers of the other offices of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao and the members of the Parliament, Bangsamoro Transition Authority, who are present today. We also would like to acknowledge the Minister of the Interior and Local Government, Attorney Nagib Sinarimbo, who is also the spokesperson of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Governor Nancy Catamco is represented by Provincial Administrator Efren Piñol. We also would like to acknowledge MP Susana Salvador Anayatin, MP Attorney Omar Crisostomo Sema, and MP Maysara Latif, and all other members of the Parliament who are here this afternoon. good afternoon again. We would like to remind everyone that we have to, of course, observe precautionary measures for the COVID-19 that we are still experiencing or having right now. So please wear your mask and face shield when inside the venue. And even outside. We would like to acknowledge Member of the Parliament, MP Sultan Edraisa Nasser Rimbang, and MP Abdullah Bravo Macapaar. Good afternoon. Good afternoon po. Abdullah Bravo Macapaar. We also would like to acknowledge MP Ahmad Abbas. We would like to remind everyone to please be seated. In a short while, we will start with the program. Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the turnover of Cotabato City and the 63 barangays from the province of North Cotabato to the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Today's event was part of the decisions made by the national government and the Bangsamoro Government Intergovernmental Relations Body that the transfer of the supervision of Cotabato City will take place today. This includes the handing over of the supervisory functions, programs, and assets of the Department of the Interior and Local Government to BARMM through the Ministry of the Interior and Local Government. Cotabato City affirmed its inclusion to the BARMM through a plebiscite on January 21st, 2019, and on the same year, its ratification in inclusion in BARMM was certified by the COMELEC. Hence, the turnover of the city is mandated under Article 15, Section 11 of the Republic Act 11054 or the Bangsamoro Organic Law. To start with the ceremony this afternoon, we would like to call on Ustad Abu Huraira Udasan, Grand Mufti of the Bangsamoro, for the opening prayer. May we request everyone to please stand, and after the prayer, please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem and the Bangsamoro hymn.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. We beseech thee, Almighty Allah, of thy benevolence and blessing upon us on this auspicious occasion of the eventual turnover of the city of Cotabato to the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao. Thou art the exalted in might, the wise. O Almighty Allah, we are raising our hands to thee with gratitude for the final inclusion of Cotabato City to the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao that further enhances the unity, solidarity, integrity of the entire BARMM populace as one Bangsamoro people, one Bangsamoro Ummah. Thou art most gracious, the most generous. Glory be to thee, Almighty Allah. Keep the steps of our leaders firm and strong in getting rid of all evils of graft, corruption, dishonesty, and injustice in running the Bangsamoro moral governance. Enlighten us in our devotion and dedication to realize our noble aspiration for astounding success, prosperity, and stability. Thou art the most beneficent, the most merciful. Ya Allah, safeguard our motherland from all sort of disaster. Clear it of the pandemic COVID-19. Keep us healthy mentally and physically. Thou art our protector and patron. Ya Allah, O Almighty Allah, let not our hearts debate from the truth after now that thou have guided us. Strengthen our collective steps to surmount and overcome the challenges and stumbling blocks on our road to development and industrialization. Open the hearts of the moral governance adversaries to eventually concede to the truth. Lay not on us burden beyond our capacity to bear. Condemn us not if we forget or fall into error. Pass over our faults. blot out our sins, grant us forgiveness. Thou art of forgiving, the grantor of bounties. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار والحمد لله رب العالمين تقبل الله منا جميعا.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Mga kab-
May we now please request everyone to be seated as we listen to the opening statement of Marjorie N. Haloshos, Under Secretary of the Department of the Interior and Local Government. Ma'am?
Maayong udto kanatong tanan, to Secretary Eduardo Año, Minister Nagib Sinarimbo, Secretary Delphine Lorenzana, Chief Minister Murad Ibrahim, Minister Iqbal, Yusek David Desiano, Executive Secretary Makakwa, Chief of Police General Debold Sinas, members of the transition team, governors and mayors, ladies and gentlemen, maayong hapon kanatong tanan. Isang mapagpalang araw po sa inyong lahat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am honored to be here with you today physically to witness the turnover of Cotabato City and 63 barangays from North Cotabato to BARMM. The turnover of supervision of the said areas to the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao is a very essential task that it is instructed by our dear President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. First of all, I would like to acknowledge the assistance provided by the Office of the Presidential Advisor on the peace process and the guidance and wisdom of the co-chairs of the national government, Bangsamoro Government Intergovernmental Relations Body for this turnover. I would also like to acknowledge our counterpart in the BARMM government, the Ministry of the Interior and Local Government, headed by Minister Nagib Sinarimbo, for their cooperation during the discussion to ensure the smooth transition. The DILG, in its implementation of the transition plan, has worked closely with the MILG to resolve concerns raised relative to the turnover. Through the vision and mission of BARMM that is centered around the guidance of moral governance and the pursuit of genuine and meaningful autonomy, we believe that their goal of ensuring the necessary conditions for enduring peace and sustained socio-economic development in their society shall continue and strengthen. As the Undersecretary for Mindanao Affairs and Special Concerns of the Department of the Interior and Local Government, I am a believer that this instruction from the President is a step in the right direction in ensuring peace and progress in the country. What we hope to achieve today did not come easy. This is a product of multiple negotiations, coordinations with different government agencies, and hard work for all those involved. I am a witness of the effort and drive of the national government and the Bangsamoro government transition team in organizing and attending series of meetings and consultations that are geared towards achieving a smooth and a successful transition of Cotabato City and 63 barangays of North Cotabato to the BARMM government. For this, I would like to acknowledge our DILG Regional Office 12 under the leadership of RD Josephine Lesa for their countless efforts in coordinating with different offices concerned to ensure that all the processes and the documents needed to facilitate an efficient transition will be ready before the official turnover today. As we all know, this turnover took months in the making, and although we have experienced certain issues and challenges along the way, I am honored to be part of the transition team that made this happen. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. This turnover ceremony is a testament to the importance of democracy in attaining peace. Today, we honor and acknowledge the vote of the citizens of Cotabato City and the 63 barangays in North Cotabato in their aspiration to be part of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region. It is also very important that we take the time to thank the leadership of Cotabato City and the province of Cotabato for ensuring the safety and well-being of the citizenry despite the issues arising from this turnover. It is also very important. We in the DILG believe that it is important to capacitate and sustain a society that is peaceful, progressive, and resilient. Kaya naman, naniniwala kami na kinakailangan ang pagtutulungan para mapanatili ang kapayapaan at kaayusan sa ating bansa. In addition to the goal of a smooth transition, the department has always been committed to provide assistance to the Bangsamoro government during the transition period. Lagi po naming sinasabi na katulong po ninyo ang departamento sa pagsisiguro na mas mapapabuti ang serbisyo publiko dito sa Bangsamoro. The DILG commits fully to help the Bangsamoro government to establish a system of coordination and cooperation among the citizenry, local executives, and the MILG to ensure effective and efficient delivery of basic services to the public. Mahalaga sa panahon ng transisyon na ito ang pagtutulungan na upang mas lalo pa nating mapabilis ang mga proseso na makakatulong sa pagbibigay natin ng serbisyo sa ating mga kababayan dito sa Bangsamoro. We in the national government are one in the Bangsamoro government in ensuring the safety and well-being of the citizens in the Bangsamoro. We believe that through working together, we can achieve a just and lasting peace for the Bangsamoro. Daghang salamat ug maayong hapon sa kanatong tanan.
Daghang salamat, Undersecretary Marjorie Haloshos. And before we continue, we would like to acknowledge Governor Teng Mangudadato. And ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we would like to call on Eduardo M. Año, Secretary of the Department of the Interior and Local Government, to deliver the turnover message. Sir?
Our Bangsamoro Autonomous Region for Muslim Mindanao Chief Minister Ahod Ibrahim Alhaj, Secretary Delphin Lorenzana of the Department of National Defense, BARMM Executive Secretary Abdul Rauf Abdul Makakua, Minister Nagib Gani Sinarimbo of the Ministry of the Interior and Local Government, Minister Mohager Mohamed Iqbal, Ministry of Basic Higher and Technical Education, and the Chair of IGRB Bangsamoro. All the ministers of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region for Muslim Mindanao, and all the members of the Parliament, Secretary Carlos Dominguez, Chair IGRB, represented by Undersecretary Bayani Agabin, Provincial Governors present, Governor Nancy Catamco of Cotabato Province, Governor Suharto Magudadato of Sultan Kudarat, Governor Bay Mariam Sangki Magudadato of Maguindanao, Yusek Marjorie Halosos of DILG, Yusek David Misiano of OPAPRU, the Chief Philippine National Police, Police General Debold Sinas, Regional Director Josephine Leisa of DILG Region 12, Police Brigadier General Samuel Rodriguez, Regional Director Pro Bar, Jail Senior Superintendent Amado Concepcion Jr., Regional Director of BJMP Regional Office BARMM, Fire Chief Inspector Noah Pacalda of Provincial Fire Director Cotabato City, local chief executives present, officials and employees of BARMM, representatives from the national government agencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nagagalak akong makasama kayo sa ating makasaysayang paglipat ng lungsod ng Cotabato kasama ang iba pang mga barangays, pag-aari at kagamitan sa pamamahala ng Bangsamoro Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao. If one were to trace back to the roots of the land, one would find that the city was built in the back of swords and resounding battle cries. Its name, derived from the Maguindanao term Cotabato, or stone fort, bespeaks of a history of bloody wars among the ethnic tribes and against the Spanish conquistadores. Over the course of time, Cotabato City became the economic citadel of the South, a bastion that has since stood tall and sturdy to this modern day. The town and its people flourished, increasing government efficiency, building infrastructures, improving resiliency, and enhancing digital capacity. Nanalo noong 2019 sa Anti-Drug Abuse Council awardee at naging top 1 ng local councils for the protection of children ang lungsod ng Cotabato. Indeed, over the course of time, the locals experienced better governance and public service delivery. The trajectory of the city's growth looked promising. However, the year 2019 saw another historic shift for our Moro brothers and sisters. The people have spoken. Their outcry for resounding loud and clear throughout the archipelago. The Bangsamoro Organic Law was ratified, thus fating the transfer of Cotabato City, 63 barangays from North Cotabato, the DILG Regional Office, properties, assets, and records to the BARMM government. And today, we witness the official transfer of these government units, possessions, and data to the new leadership. This signals a new dawn for our Muslim brethren. Ito ay magbibigay ng oportunidad upang lalong maiayos sa mga nararapat na hakbang upang mas makaengganyo ng mga mamumuhunang pumasok sa rehiyon na sa namang magpapasigla sa ekonomiya sa buong BARMM. Last year, 28 LGUs in the region attained the much coveted Seal of Good Local Governance Award. Imagine the possibilities once the transition has been ironed out and every local has finally adjusted. Through the BARMM leadership under the Chief Minister Ahod Alhaj Murad Ibrahim, ably counseled by MILG Minister Nagib Sinarimbo, we will continue to improve the standard of governance and steer public service to cater to the needs of our Moro brethren. This will allow the localities in BARMM to find success and see investments, tourism, and trade boom in the region. However, this change has been met with much apprehension for the transfer of Cotabato City can make or break the future of BARMM. Cotabato City is the pearl that we have to care for as it will reflect the success of its Maguindanao neighbors in the coming years. And as such, every stakeholder must ensure that the transfer of powers and responsibilities and of assets and properties will reach a peaceful and meaningful resolution. Close coordination among the national government, regional line agencies, and the BARMM local government units must take precedence over any biases any of us might have in the transition. Nakasalalay ang kinabukasan hindi lamang ng Bangsamoro kundi rin ng buong Mindanao sa bawat kilos at desisyon natin bilang tagapagpatupad ng BOL. Alam nating hindi magiging madaling isakatuparan ang mga pagbabago at prosesong dulot ng paglilipat ng pamamahala ng Cotabato City sa BARMM. Malaki ang implikasyon at dulot nito sa kalagayan ng seguridad at kaligtasan ng buong syudad at rehiyon. Kalakip ang kabi-kabilang pangambang baka hindi maprotektahan ang karapatan ng iba nating mga kababayan. So in writing a new chapter of peace and unity, we must recognize that human lives are the greatest resource of our country and we must protect in order to step forward. I therefore call on our uniformed forces, both the military and the police, to unite in common ground and guard the rights and welfare of every person involved in this endeavor. We must free our people from the uncertainties and misunderstandings of this opportunity as they walk through the volatilities of systemic change. Apela ko rin ito sa ating mga armadong rebelde at grupo na sana tigilan na ang panggugulo sa syudad na ito upang tulungan natin ang BARMM at ang buong Mindanao na makamit ang tunay na kapayapaan. Nandito na tayo. Isipin natin ng ating mga kababayang halos buong buhay ay naging parte na ang mga karahasan na nagaganap sa bahagi ng Mindanao. Tumanda na po silang gulo, takot at pangamba ang dala ng bawat umaga. So isipin natin ang maraming mga kababayang hindi na halos magampanan ng papel bilang ilaw ng tahanan dahil walang matinong tirahan at mga kabataang nasisira ang magandang kinabukasan dahil namumulat sila sa magulong mundo at puno ng karahasan. So tinatawagan natin ang mga natitira pang mga armadong grupo, kasama ang BIFF, kasama ang New People's Army. Ito na ang tamang panahon para magbagong buhay. We are all tired of violence, so now is the time for us to win together. So I call on our local chief executives involved in the transition to lead your LGUs through the rough journey of this transition. Educate your constituents and make sure that they understand and support the move to empower the Bangsamoro. You are hands and feet of the national government and are keys to the success of the programs, projects, and advocacies implemented in BARMM. Further, I enjoin our stakeholders, the non-government organizations, civil society organizations, members of the academe, and businessmen to unite for the sake of our fellow men. The stakes are high during this transition, so we must work together. I also call on the local populace, both our Muslim brothers and Christians alike, to engage in nation building regardless of religion, cultural beliefs, or ethnicities. We are all Filipinos and we are citizens of the rich and diverse archipelago. Panahon na po upang magkaisa na tayo dahil tayo ring lahat, kasama ang susunod na henerasyon, ang makikinabang sa ating pagkakaisa. Ito ang pangunahing hangarin ng BARMM. Kaya naman sana'y magtulungan ng bawat isa sa atin upang mabigyan daan ang pagkamit sa mas ligtas, mas payapa at progresibong bansa sa hinaharap. Peace is now at hand, and the implementation of full autonomy would only be successful if we nurture a strong and deep cooperation among all sectors of society. Ang tunay na panalo dito ay ang mamamayan at maganda ang direksyon na pupuntahan ng lahat. Rest assured that in allowing you, our Muslim fellow men, to retake control of your destinies, the Department of the Interior and Local Government will not let you tread through the rocky and unfamiliar path alone. We will still do this together until we reach the time that you can already walk on your own, ready to embrace and carry out the bigger responsibilities entrusted in this agreement. Naririto pa rin kami upang gumabay at umalalay sa kahit anong panahon at pagkakataon. May the leadership of BARMM effectively steer the entire region through the uncertainties of the present to finally attain the dream of a peaceful, progressive, fully empowered, and autonomous Bangsamoro. Kahit pa may pandemic, sama-sama nating gagabayan tungo sa tagumpay. Together, let us continue to stand and work arm in arm to keep lasting peace and inclusive growth within our sites. Together, let us not waste this opportunity to build a promising, inclusive, and more dignified future for our children and the children's children to witness the rebirth of the land of the promise. At sa pag-turnover natin ng Cotabato City at ng 63 barangays, ay mas lalo pang yayabong ang ating BARMM tungo sa pagunlad. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you, Secretary Anyo. We shall now proceed to the formal ceremony on the turnover of supervision of Cotabato City and the 63 barangays from North Cotabato, former DILG Regional Office Building, properties and assets, and movable properties and records of the DILG Cotabato Field Office. May we request DILG Secretary Eduardo Anyo and MILG Minister Attorney Nagib Sinarimbo to come on stage for the signing and the handover ceremony. First, we will have the signing of turnover documents. And after that, the handover of the symbolic key. For the signing of the turnover of documents, we would like to request DILG Region 12 Regional Director Josephine Leysa Sesofor to assist in the signing. And to witness the signing and handing over of the symbolic key, may we request the following officials to come on stage. For BARMM, we have Chief Minister Ahud Balawag Ibrahim Alhaj, Chair of the IGRB Bangsamoro and Minister of MBHTE Muhaker Iqbal, Parliament Speaker Pangalian Balindong, Executive Secretary Abdul Rahuf Makakua, Maguindanao Governor Bay Maria Magundadato, and Member of Parliament Midpantao Midtimbang. For the national government, we would like to request on stage Secretary of National Defense Delphine Lorenzana, OPAP Undersecretary David Diciano, DILG Undersecretary Marjorie Haloshos, PNP Chief Debold Encinas, and North Cotabato Governor Nancy Katamco. I think Governor Nancy is represented by the administrator. May we request the representative of Governor Katamco, please. And we would like to call on Governor Teng Mangundadato to represent Maguindanao Governor Bay Maria Mangundadato. Sir? May we remind everyone to please observe social distancing. We now proceed to the signing of the turnover documents. On stage, we have DILG Secretary Eduardo Anyo and MILG Minister Attorney Nagib Sinarimbo signing the turnover documents, assisted by DILG Region 12 Regional Director Josephine Leysa Seso 5. A round of applause, please. Again, we would like to remind everyone to please observe social distancing. This is our precautionary measure because of the pandemic that we are experiencing right now. Okay, we now proceed to the second part, which is for the photo ops. May we request Minister Sinarimbo and our Secretary Anyo for the photo ops. Middle, sir, middle. Sa may... Okay, we now proceed to the handing over of the symbolic key. Then, sir. May we again request um, Secretary Anyo and Minister Sinarimbo for the handing over of the symbolic key. Sir, sa first stage, sir. Ground platform, sir. Okay, the handing over of the symbolic key formalizes, actually signals the transfer of the supervision by the national government over the city and the 63 barangays from North Cotabato. A round of applause, please, and congratulations. We are now done. Thank you, everyone. We would like to request our officials to please go back to your respective seats. Thank you, sirs. And now we proceed to the next part of the program. We shall now hear the acceptance message of the Minister of the Interior and Local Government, BARMM, Attorney Nagib Sinarimbo. Sir?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Secretary Eduardo Año, Secretary of the Department of the Interior and Local Government, Secretary Delphine Lorenzana, Secretary of the National Defense, the Honorable Alhaj Murad Ibrahim, Chief Minister of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, Police General Debold M. Sinas, Chief of the Philippine National Police, Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr., Secretary of OPAP, represented by our good friend, Undersecretary David Desciano, Minister Mohagir Iqbal, Chairman of the Intergovernmental Relations Body of the Bangsamoro Government, Secretary Carlos Dominguez, represented by Undersecretary Bayani Agabin, Chair of the National Government's IGRB, Undersecretary Marjorie Halosos, Regional Directors of the DILG and Provincial Directors, members of the Parliament, colleagues from the Cabinet of the Bangsamoro Government, fellow workers in government, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good afternoon to all of us. Today marks another significant milestone in the implementation of the comprehensive agreement on the Bangsamoro as well as the organic law for the Bangsamoro. Today, we give meaning to the popular will of the people of Cotabato City and the 63 barangays from North Cotabato, which was manifested in the plebiscite last year. In behalf of the Bangsamoro government, led by the Chief Minister, Ahud Alhaj Murad Ibrahim, it is my honor and a distinct privilege to receive and thereafter undertake the supervision of the local government units of Cotabato City and the 63 barangays from North Cotabato. I commit to implement the law and provide all the necessary technical assistance to ensure that these local government units, like all of the LGUs under the jurisdiction of the Bangsamoro government, are able to optimize their performance, which will redound to the benefit of its constituents in the form of better services and good government. Along this line, effective today, we hereby assume the field office in Cotabato City to ensure the continuity of our services to the aforesaid local government units. The following local government operation officers are hereby assigned to the Cotabato City field office: Mr. Arsad Tekoken, Ms. Jihan Sipanda, Ms. Siti Kasmia M. Panda. These personnel of the Ministry of the Interior and Local Government who've been trained no less by the Local Government Academy of the Philippines under the Department of the Interior and Local Government will continue to provide the same quality of services to the constituent local government units of Cotabato City and the 63 barangays from North Cotabato. We welcome, therefore, the City of Cotabato and the 63 barangays from North Cotabato to the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Minister Sinarimbo. At this point, we will hear the message of the Chief Minister of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, Ahod Balawag Ibrahim. Sir?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. I would like to begin by extending our gratitude to our partners who made today's event possible. First and foremost, to the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Senator Christopher Lawrence T. Go, Secretary Eduardo M. Año, Secretary Delphine N. Lorenzana, PNP Chief General Devolve M. Sinas, Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr., represented by Undersecretary David B. Diciano, Undersecretary Marjorie N. Haloshos, Secretary Carlos J. Dominguez, represented by Undersecretary Bayani H. Agabin, Wali of the Bangsamoro, Sheikh Khalifa Osman Nando, Governor Nancy Katamko, represented by the Provincial Administrator, Governor Bay Mariam Sanki Mangudadato. I think she will be coming on the way. Governor Suharto Mangudadato of Sultan Kudarat, Board Member Muhammad Kili Yu Antaw, Mayor Samim B. Mastura, Mayor Jean Dino De Roquero, Mayor Sumulong Ki Sultan, Mayor Romeo de Aranya, Mayor Herio P. Guzman Jr., Mayor Moises C. Arindain, Mayor Vicente C. Soropia Jr., to our colleagues in the regional Bangsamoro government, friends, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Bangsamoro. Again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The Bangsamoro government is pleased and honored to accept the responsibility of supervising Cotabato City and the 63 barangays of North Cotabato as part of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. The historic vote for its inclusion during the 2019 plebiscite on the Bangsamoro Organic Law signals the people's shared desire for lasting peace, development, and understanding to the Bangsamoro people's right to self-determination. We are committed to upscaling services that can further boost the potential of these territories, unique with its own context and in support to its existing resources. We will make sure that BARMM's development will echo to the city and the 63 barangays with no constituency left behind regardless of faith, ethnicity, or affiliation. Inshallah. We acknowledge that the political process towards the formal turnover was not easy. There were differences in opinions, principles, and apprehensions that paint a stark contrast to the result of the historic plebiscite, and continuing the lines of division, however, will not help us in making our collective aspirations a reality. As such, there is a need for all of us to come together as one community dedicated to the Bangsamoro's collective advancement. Sa turnover na ito, tayong lahat ang panalo. Walang talo. Lahat tayo ay nanalo, inshallah. Now more than ever, we ask our dear constituents to find commonalities among our differences, to choose hope over fear, to choose unity over division, and to work together in co-creating the Bangsamoro reflective of our shared stories as Moros, Christian settlers, and indigenous communities. We have more work to do in order to realize genuine autonomy and to manifest the agreements in this peace process. In respect to the role of law and with the respective inclusion along with the continuous support of our people, we can create opportunities for all and install a regional bureaucracy worthy of the name Bangsamoro. Inshallah, to our dear constituents from the 63 barangays of North Cotabato and Cotabato City. Welcome to the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, and let me assure you our continued support for the betterment of everyone in the Bangsamoro area, inclusive of everyone. Ahlan wa sahlan. Thank you very much, and wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you. And that was the Chief Minister Ahud Balawag Ibrahim. Thank you again, Chief Minister. We will also hear messages coming from the following officials. We would like to call on Police General Debold M. Sinas, Chief, Philippine National Police. Sir?
Thank you very much. Let me acknowledge our VIPs around. To our DILG Secretary Eduardo M. Anyo, sir. To the DND Secretary Delphin N. Lorenzana, sir. To the representative of OPAC, Undersecretary David B. Diciano, sir. Of course, the Chief Minister, Minister Ahud Al-Haj Murad B. Ibrahim, sir. Executive Secretary Abdul Rauf Makakua, Speaker Ali Panglian Balindong, Minister Mohamed M. Iqbal, sir, the DILG Undersecretary Marjorie N. Halosos, ma'am, Undersecretary Bayani H. Agapin, Attorney General Shah Ilha Dumama Alba, other invited guests, other officials, Governor by Miriam Sanki Magundadato of the Maguindanao, ma'am, Governor Suharto Ting Magundandato, we have here Governor Nancy Katamko, other mayors, other visitors, PNP and AEP members, other guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon at magandang hapon po sa lahat. On behalf of the 223 strong members of the Philippine National Police, we express full support to the gains of Bangsamoro people with its newest addition in Cotabato City and the 63 barangays from North Cotabato. As premier law enforcement institution of the land, we could only think of the relevance of the PNP as an instrument of peace to help build a coherent, unified, solid community of Bangsamoro people whose aspirations for homeland and cultural identity had been achieved following the ratification of the Comprehensive Government MILF Agreement along with the subsequent enactment of the law creating BARMM. We, law enforcers and peace officers, deeply express support to these evolving directions of the arm as we manifest our own aspirations for the closure of the decades-old chapters in our lives of Bangsamoro brothers and sisters, replete with the history of war, terrorism, violence, and uncertainties. Now, the Bangsamoro people could stand proud and dignified as they find solace in healing the land and bring this region to a promising future in the Philippine society and economy. Indeed, people in this part of the country are born with good heart, and everyone wants to live a good life. We enjoin all of you while gently reminding our Bangsamoro brothers and sisters that peace is possible, because peace is a choice. And our choice is to support any idea for each of us to experience real transformation and create something meaningful in the Bangsamoro region. Kaisa niyo po ang buong PNP sa inyong mga adhikain sa ilalim ng batas at sa ngalan ng kapayapaan. Before I end, let me take this opportunity of expressing utmost recognition to the unsung heroes of Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, whose selfless, laudable acts of service to the people of this region help reshape its future and create big opportunity for its social, political, economic, and cultural landscape. May both the police and our people in this hallowed ground have a more peaceful, stronger, and prouder Bangsamoro region ahead. Again, congratulations to all. God bless us all at mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you for that expression of support, PNP Chief Debold Sinas. And now we call on the Secretary of OPAP, Carlito G. Galvez Jr., and he is represented by Sir David Diciano, Undersecretary OPAP. Sir?
Good afternoon to everyone. May I first greet the Secretary of SILG, Secretary Eduardo Año, sir, the DND Secretary, Secretary Delphine Lorenzana, sir, the Chief Minister of BARMM, Ahod Alhaj Murad Ibrahim, the Chief of the Philippine National Police, Police General Debold Sinas, Undersecretary Marjorie Alos-Hos of the ILG, of course, Secretary Carlos Dominguez, represented by Undersecretary Bayani Agabin, the BARMM Executive Secretary, Abdul Raouf Makakua, the Chairman of the MILF IGRB, my partner in the implementing panel, Minister Mohamed Iqbal, of course, the MILG, BARMM Minister Nagib Nasarimbo, BARMM officials, both from the executive and the legislative branch, the officers of the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police, other guests, friends from the media, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greetings of peace to everyone. On behalf of the Presidential Peace Advisor, Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr., I would like to extend his warm greetings to all for this major milestone. This is truly a historic day for the people of Cotabato City and the Bangsamoro. After voting for inclusion in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, Cotabato is now officially part of the BARMM. We at the Office of the Presidential Advisor on the Peace Process and the Government of the Philippines Peace Implementing Panel on Bangsamoro Peace Accord believe this occasion holds much significance for all of us. The turnover we are witnessing sends a powerful message that the political track under the comprehensive agreement in the Bangsamoro is laying the foundation for people-centered moral governance in the region. This is exactly what we envisioned when the CAB and subsequently the Bangsamoro Organic Law were passed. to give people the chance to participate in the positive changes that are taking place across the region. With the inclusion of Cotabato City in the BARMM, the region will become a shining example on multicultural diversity where Moro and non-Moro lives in harmony and in peaceful coexistence. It is our hope that Cotabato's membership in the BARMM will foster greater solidarity and harmony among the people, and where everyone can enjoy the dividends of genuine peace and sustainable development. Our agency stands committed to assist you as you work towards building a brighter future for your people. Maraming salamat at mabuhay tayong lahat. Sigay ka, Bangsamoro.
Thank you, Undersecretary David Diciano of OPAP. And thank you for the message of course, reminding everyone that we now have lasting peace. We are now achieving that lasting peace and sustainable development in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, inshallah. Next, we proceed to the next part of the program, of course, to hear the message coming from the Secretary of the Department of National Defense. We would like to call on Secretary Delphine N. Lorenzana.
Chief Minister Ahod Ibrahim, Secretary Anyo, and all other dignitaries that were introduced earlier. Good afternoon to everyone. I am speaking here not only as the Secretary of National Defense, but also as Cords of BARMM, and also a native of this place. The non-inclusion of Cotabato City in the ARMM has always been an anomaly. And where do you find a region that is the head of the seat of the region is situated in another area, like Region 12? So that was the case of ARMM before. Now, during the after the BOL was ratified early last year or 2018, the BOL was signed into law, and the mechanism to transfer this the Cotabato City and other areas to BARMM went into motion. Of course, the national government wanted to include Cotabato City to the BARMM. And so we worked, the President, me, Secretary Anyo, Secretary Galvez, we went around, we also campaigned for the plebiscite. We came here, you remember, with the President. I and Secretary Anyo and Secretary Galvez went also to Hulu because Governor Tan doesn't want to join anymore the BARMM because of the plebiscite. We also provided some assistance to the MILF during the campaign period, and we are very happy to do that. So this is now the fruit of the effort of everyone. Everybody, as the Chief Minister said, everybody is a winner. I think this will stabilize the BARMM in this part. Meron pang isang city na hindi kasama sa BARMM, but that will be another story later on. So, before the plebiscite, I had a meeting with your leaders, the Chief Minister, Sami, Mr. Iqbal, pati si Jikiri. I talked to them one by one. Ang tanong ko sa kanila, how prepared are you to govern because you have been a revolutionary all your life? So they said they were very honest. Sabi niya, wala talaga kaming alam. So we need your help in the national government. And so I think that is a good sign that they wanted assistance from the national government. And that's what the national government has done. So, yun ang nangyari ngayon. So, now we are here. There are still a lot of challenges facing BARMM. Marami pang mga pagsubok na hinaharap yung BARMM dahil umpisa pa lang. It is just more than a year old. And if you start from the beginning, start from zero, going up, medyo mahirapan yan. So, we are here in the national government to help. My concern here is peace and order. Sana mawala na yung mga armado dyan para naman matahimik tayo dito. As I was talking to the Chief Minister this morning, I said that kung walang peace, walang development. Likewise, vice versa, if there is no development, wala ring peace. Kasi walang papuntang tao dyan kung walang development. So this is one of the challenges that is confronting the leadership of BARMM is to how to operationalize these plans. Marami silang plano. I heard them talk about the plans, and so I hope that they will implement it. They will be successful in implementing it. And so, again, thank you very much. Congratulations to everyone who made this happen. Magandang hapon po.
Thank you very much, Secretary of the Department of National Defense, Delphine Lorenzana. And thank you for reminding everyone that this is the proof of the decades struggle of the Bangsamoro. We would like to acknowledge the presence of Mindanao Governor Bay Mariam Sangki Mangudadato. Ma'am. And now, we are going to hear the message coming from the Chair of the IGRB Bangsamoro and Minister of the MBHTE. We have Minister Muhakkar Iqbal. Sir?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My courtesies and high respect to Secretary Eduardo Anyo, Secretary Delphine Lorenzana, Secretary Carlos Dominguez III, who is represented here by Undersecretary Bayani Agabin, Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr., who is represented here by Undersecretary David Diciano, my partner in the peace process, the Honorable Chief Minister Ahud B. Ibrahim, the Grand Mufti of the Bangsamoro, Abu Huraira Udasan, the Executive Secretary Abdurrahman Makakwa, Minister Attorney Nagib Sinarimbo, Police General Dibold Sinas, Undersecretary Marjorie Haloshos, Governor Suharto Mangudadato, Governor Bay Miriam Ampatuan Mangudadato, other public officials who grace this occasion, other guests and visitors, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and good afternoon. On behalf of the Ministry of Basic, Higher and Technical Education and as co-chair of the Intergovernmental Relations Body representing the BARMM, I offer everyone a message of peace, solidarity, and goodwill to our brethren and constituents on this momentous occasion of welcoming Cotabato City in the BARMM. This is a defining moment in our history as a people. Surely, you will not regret this decision of joining the BARMM, inshallah, God willing. The journey to reach this historic moment has been arduous, poignant, and worthwhile. The yes vote in the early 2019 in the plebiscite ratifying the Bangsamoro Organic Law has generated meaningful and thought-provoking discussions on Cotabato City's turnover to the BARMM. I surmise that some of these contemplations are driven by preconceptions and purported fear of the unknown. A famous quote in the literary classic Don Quixote states that fear has many eyes and can see the underground, meaning fears or anxieties occasionally have us seeing problems that are not there. As to my brothers and sisters who still have doubts, I assure you that nothing is daunting about Cotabato City's decision to join the BARMM. BARMM without Cotabato City is nonsensical due to the city's historical and cultural importance to the Bangsamoro homeland. Similarly, in isolation, Cotabato City will never develop and progress. In the past, its vast swamp and rainforest landscape was home to thriving ethnic group who referred to themselves as the people of the flooded plains or Mindanao. While it is relevant to enrich ourselves with the lessons from our shared history, we should consider the well-being and future of the Bangsamoro, including Cotabato City. As mandated by the Bangsamoro Organic Law and guided by the principle of moral governance, the BARMM government will implement programs and institute critical reforms that adhere to the Moro people's needs, ideals, and aspirations. In the last 2 years, the BARMM government endeavored to lay the foundation of an effective, transparent, inclusive, and genuine autonomous government. The challenges we face, including the health crisis brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic, were immense. Nonetheless, we are committed to the efficient delivery of vital services for the Bangsamoro people, including education, health, social services, and socio-economic opportunities and development. Moreover, BARMM leadership is determined to improve governance and eradicate unethical practices that have impeded the growth of this diverse region and weakened the resolve of its proud people, irrespective if you are a Moro, indigenous people, or Christian. I do not doubt that Cotabato City residents share our vision of a peaceful, just, and prosperous Bangsamoro. However, I also recognize that we may disagree on specific issues. In my many years of negotiating with the Philippine government, I respected my counterpart across the negotiating table by analyzing their official positions and not denigrating their personal beliefs. I still follow the same principle as BARMM official. Despite our differences, we must reach a common ground to benefit the Bangsamoro people. Finding a sustainable solutions to our current problems and safeguarding the future of the Bangsamoro for the next generation are goals much bigger than the government and its leaders. It was the philosopher Lao Tzu who said, "A leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done, his aim fulfilled, they, meaning the people, will say, we did it ourselves." That's about ownership. In other words, it is the interest and the welfare of the Bangsamoro people that matters. And with the people's trust and support, the BARMM government, including Cotabato City, will realize its mandate. Finally, for those who have a mixed feeling on the turnover of Cotabato City, we say, to heaven with you. Shukran. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Minister Mohaker Iqbal, Chair of the IGRB Bangsamoro, for that message of peace, solidarity, and goodwill to Cotabato and BARMM, and your commitment to continue the delivery of services, particularly on education. We now hear the message of the Chair of the IGRB National, Carlos G. Dominguez III, via Zoom.
Good afternoon. First of all, my principal, Secretary Dominguez, sends his regrets that he cannot personally join everyone here in this momentous occasion. But, and with that, I'll start. The Secretary of Interior and Local Government, Eduardo Año, Secretary of National Defense, Delphine Lorenzana, Chief Minister Ahod Ibrahim, our good friend, Minister Iqbal, and Minister Nagib Sinarimbo, Executive Secretary Makakua, Attorney Lai Dumama Alba, PNP Chief Debold Sinas, BILG Undersecretary Kat Halosos, OPAP Undersecretary Dishano David, and Assistant Secretary Wilben Mayor, Governor Mangudadatu and Governor Cotamco, fellow workers in government, Assalamu alaikum, isang maganda at mapayapang hapon po sa inyong lahat. It gives me great honor and pleasure to be invited here today to witness another milestone and realization of the political legislative track of the Bangsamoro peace process. The turnover of the city of Cotabato and 63 barangays in North Cotabato to the BARMM, as mandated by Republic Act 11054 or the Bangsamoro Organic Law. I personally saw the long journey that brought us to this historic moment. Cotabato City is part of the territorial jurisdiction of the BARMM, and it has been since the COMELEC certified the results of the plebiscite for the ratification of the Bangsamoro Organic Law. We are fortunate that the Bangsamoro Organic Law is an innovative as it is novel, because the IGRB and the IGRB mechanisms allowed the national government and the BARMM to move forward in tandem. Through the IGRB, national and regional government agencies and ministries, like our primary movers today, the Department of Interior and Local Government, and the Ministry of Interior and Local Government, were able to work together and lead us to this momentous occasion. Numerous meetings and consultations with stakeholders and offices paved the way, led by no less than the President, who is fully supportive of the Bangsamoro peace process, believing that genuine peace in Mindanao can be achieved through understanding, healing, and responsive programs for development in this part of the country affected by decades of conflict. Establishing the BARMM signified the unified voice of the Bangsamoro people to realize their right to self-governance through democratic political expression, which is the only viable and rational means to achieve durable peace in the Bangsamoro. Establishing this political entity is their opportunity to formulate and introduce new norms and rules of games towards reform, good governance, and healing in the Bangsamoro. Thus, full recognition of the territorial jurisdiction of the BARMM is imperative. This is the impact of the event today. We have accomplished much, but let us not lose the opportunity to stay actively engaged. We should continue to take note of vital developmental programs, transitory modalities, and entrenchment of governance systems that will radically change the future of the Bangsamoro into a political entity that achieves its aspirations in the spirit of inclusivity and social justice, and in the spirit of serving as fundamental component for national building in the Philippines. Again, congratulations. We look forward to meeting our counterparts in the IGRB on Friday. Shukran, and mabuhay po tayong lahat. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was Undersecretary Bayani Agabin of the Department of Finance National. Thank you everyone, to our officials for the messages. And we now proceed to the next part, which is listening to the closing remarks of our very own BARMM Executive Secretary Abdul Rauf Makakua. Sir?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Una, paumanin po kasi sa aking pagbanggit sa mga pangalan ninyo, gawin natin medyo bata. To Secretary of National Defense, Secretary Lorenzana. Hindi pwedeng hindi gawing bata kasi mahirap na. To Secretary of DILG, Ed Anyo. To the Chief Minister of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, saan natin kaya ito i-shorten? Sa EBS Ibrahim or sa Hod Ibrahim? Mahirapan ako ito i-shortcut yung kay PNP Chief Dibold Senyas. Kasi kung ialis natin yung D, parang iba ang pagkakaintindi. So we will make it complete. Dibold Senyas, wag na lang natin bawasan ng D. To the Secretary of OPAP, represented by Instead of David, we will do it Dave. Represented by Dave Diciano. Actually, the Secretary of OPAP is Carlito Galvez. Sa tawag namin, Charlie. To Brother IQ of the MBHT and the co-chair of the IGRB Bangsamoro, to Carlos Dominguez, represented in Zoom by Undersecretary Bayani Agabin, all we were shorten it at Gabi for short. Doon lang tayo mag-shorten sa apelyido kasi mas bata pakinggan doon. To the wali of our Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, Khalifa Nando, the Deputy Minister Ali Sulaiman of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao, bata pa ito, pwede nating tawagin Sol. Members of the Bangsamoro Parliament headed by our Speaker, the member of the Cabinet, government headed by no less than the Chief Minister who are here, the men of uniform, in uniform from PNP Director General Senyas, and the Armed Forces of the Philippines who are present today, Major General Binluan, the West Mingcom, and our very own 6ID Commander, General Uy. To the governors who are here today, Nancy Katamko, who are represented by Efren Pinul, the Administrator of the Province of North Cotabato, our respected members of the Parliament, the two old men of Maguindanao, Dato Antaw Midimbang and Dato Tokao Mastura, the Governor of Sultan Kudarat, Dato Teng Mangudadato, and by Miriam Sangki Mangudadato, our Governor in Maguindanao. Parang pwedeng i-shorten natin ito ng Merry kasi Merry Christmas ngayon eh. December na ngayon. So, Miriam Mangudadato. To the mayor who are present today, both in physical and Zoom, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a blessed and healthy afternoon to everyone, and to those environmentalists, isang makakalikasang hapon sa ating lahat. At this point, everything needed to be said has been said. It is now clear to all of us that the vote for peace during last year's plebiscite is a reminder of our shared duty to build a bureaucracy that is representative of the Bangsamoro's desire for development and self-determination. It was not an easy. Hindi po madali ang paggagawa nito. During the plebiscite time, noong plebisito, karami-rami tayong dinaanan na mga challenges para ma-achieve natin ang programa na ito ngayon. Ang una, maalaala ninyo, during our campaign, the tower of the cabinet members of the PRRD administration were here in this stage campaigning for the yes vote of the plebiscite. The same person that we are here today together, Lorenzana, Delphin Lorenzana, and Anyo, among them, sila rin ang unang nangangampana para manalo ang yes. Sa election proper, plebiscite proper, rami akong natanggap na text galing kay Secretary Lorenzana. Ang text na nabanggit ko, Sami, wrong move yan ang ginagawa mo. Sabi ko, anong gagawin natin, sir? Ialis mo yung pinapasok mo dyan ng mga BF sa Cotabato City. Sabi ko, hindi man, sir, mga BF ito kay may lekorete. Sabi niya, paalisin na yan. Sabi ko, kung anong gusto mo, di paalisin. Pinalis namin. So in that case, nung mag-alis yung mga BF na nandito sa Cotabato City, kasi we have to follow the instruction of the SND, the Secretary, parang nawalan na kami ng pag-asa na manalo pa ang yes vote sa Cotabato City. Sabi ni Secretary, huwag kang mag-alala dyan na hindi manalo kasi sa survey, 80% bubuto yung Cotabato City ng yes. Kahit walang ipasok dyan, talagang manalo. So, naniwala lang ako pero may duda din na talagang baka hindi manalo. Yun ang mga situation, mga challenges na nangyayari sa atin during the plebiscite at saka until now. So with that, kailangan tayo magpasalamat sa kay SND, Secretary ng National Defense, si Ed Anyo, si SOP Secretary Dominguez, sa lahat-lahat, si Carlito Galvez, mas lalo na kay Presidente. Kasi kung wala si Presidente, kung wala yung mga cabinet member niya na tumutulong sa atin from SND to DILG to OPAP at saka mga ibang agency, I don't think na this turnover today will happen. So in that case, we are very thankful, sir, to all of you and to the administration of President Mayor Roa Duterte. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon to everyone.
Thank you. That was the Executive Secretary of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, Executive Secretary Abdul Rauf Makakua. And ladies and gentlemen, that ends our ceremony this afternoon. And we would like to wish everyone good luck and congratulations to the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. We now proceed to the next part of the program, but it's going to be a press conference. Minister Nagib and Secretary Anyo. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.